Alrighty fellas, in this video I'm gonna go over how my outbound little journey has gone, just doing 10 reach outs a day. So I actually got some numbers together. Now that I'm almost done, I can actually kind of say with some level of certainty what has occurred throughout the whole process. So of course I'll go through my casual normal yap sesh, update everything because I'm doing videos more spaced out now. But anyway, so far this whole thing, everything I'm gonna go over is so far because I haven't finished it 100%. So currently, sorry, I cut my I swallowed some food. This is probably TMI, but I swallowed some food. I never chew enough. Swallowed some food too quick. I guess it was sharp. I cut the entrance of my throat or whatever. I scratched it, which then kind of became a cut. So now the back of my throat hurts. Anyway, so far there are 137 leads. Now probably 125, somewhere around 125 were from previous 3 months. Then new leads as they've came in, I've began to add them to this process, so now I can follow up with my new leads. There's a new process. Clearly it works. So out of that 137 leads, well, I'll just kind of say the thing that everybody would probably want to know first, even me, if I was looking back at this and see a bird just completely shat from left to right on my entire windshield. I don't know if you guys could hear that. That was crazy. I just got okay. Oh man, and I'm completely out of windshield wiper fluid, so I just smeared bird shit from left to right all over my windshield. That's crazy. I wonder if you guys could see any of it. No, you can't because I'm zoomed in. Well, that sucks. I bet you guys could hear it. The thing that I'm sure everybody wants to know, just right off the bat, is just what revenue did I achieve or add from it. So out of 137 leads, total revenue, again, all of this is so far because I'm not 100% done with it. I've reached out to all of them, but I haven't done my 3 touches where I reach out to each one of them 3 times, unless they respond beforehand, are interested, are not interested, say I'm interested later on. Then it's okay, put in my notes, whatever, push them out to a later date. If they say stop reaching out to me, I'll stop reaching out to them, stuff like that. But out of that 137, most of them, I would say 120 of them, I have done all 3 reach outs. So it's just, a handful left that I have to do that 3rd or maybe 2nd or whatever reach out to. But out of 137 so far, I have added $1,815 in additional revenue just from reaching out to these old leads. Now I'm gonna go through and break it down. So out of that 137 leads, that's 400 plus reach outs. I'm not quite sure how that adds up because even 137 times 3 would be, that does that up. But yeah, 400 plus reach outs, 53 responded. So I have 53 responses out of that 137 individual people, and out of 400 messages, I have 53 responses. The cool thing is, I'll just keep going. 53 responded, which is roughly 38%. Honestly, that's really not bad. As you're sending that first message, definitely it's yep, nobody's responding, this is kind of boring, why am I doing this, that kind of stuff. But throughout those 3 messages, the rate definitely picks up. So 38% responded. 38% of the 137 people responded so far. Again, now out of the 137, 5 people booked. That's only 3.6%, which is very low. But for the level of effort it took and how much time it took, it honestly was so little. And it's in your head, you're dang, reaching out to 137 people individually and then doing it 3, it's once you kind of have a process, I'll be completely transparent. All I did was develop 3 scripts, for my touch 1, touch 2, and touch 3 messages. And then I developed probably another 3 variations of those 3. And I know that sounds but I'm telling you, it's 2 sentences. And then you just change a little thing in the middle. So I have 3 different ones for the 3 different messages that I would send to each individual person. And depending what time of the week it was, I would adjust it a little bit. So all I had was, let's say it was beginning of the week. This is the beginning of the week. I'll say, hey, whatever, blah, blah, still interested, blah, blah, blah. Got some openings this week, coming up this week. If it's towards the end of the week, I would say, got some openings. got a couple or got a few or got one opening left this weekend because I'm open weekends to try and fill in the weekend. And if it was the end of the week and I didn't have any availability left this weekend, I would just switch it to say got some openings next weekend. So that's it. That's what I mean by develop 3 variations of those 3. It's just changing those little things so that you can start to fill out the parts of the week that you actually have available to fill up. Anyway, so yeah, out of the time it took, all that stuff, it was super, super worth it. Anyway, 3.6%, not very much at all, but again, very worth it. And that's $1,850 in revenue. And then the cool thing is, out of those 5 people, I had a good idea, and I never track like out of how many clients that come in, how many do I upsell or anything like that. But you know, this is in a spreadsheet. I'm like tracking it all. I have different like all this stuff like columns and rows, whatever, so where I can know all this stuff. Eventually, I'm gonna develop a system so I can do this with all clients. But anyway, out of those 5 people that came in, I upsold 3 of them. Now, some of them I upsold like in terms of like they came in for standard, upsold them to ceramic. I think one of them that was the case. I think the other 2 ended up needing removals. So just stuff like that. It's like people are gonna come in, they're gonna not know they have some tint that needs to be taken off, or like. But I'm not like completely blindsiding them. I let them know like it could have tint. I could check it out. It's an additional cost. They come in knowing they could end up spending a little bit more. They have that variability in, I guess, their budgets, whatever. So, with that being said, the average ticket of those 5 people, that 3 out of 5, you know, that's a 60% like upsell, right? That's pretty good. Like that means out of, you know, over half, I know whenever they walk in the door, I'm going to end up selling them something more. I'm going to end up making more money than I have them booked for, which is awesome. Like that's how you're able to advertise and book people in for like, that's how you know you have a system where it's not just a front end. A lot of people barely break even or barely make money off the first thing that they sell, right? The point is getting them in the door and then having that next thing to sell them or having that next thing to upgrade them to. Because you're not going to get them in the door for your highest ticket item. Very few you will, but generally you're not going to get people in the door. But if you know you can spend whatever amount of time, whatever amount of money to get a client in, to get them to spend this amount of money, and then you know over half of those people are going to end up spending more money, and then you know what the average ticket ends up being. You know, I booked them in for $250, the average ticket is $350. Likely, like, it's an average for a reason, because most are going to get you either above or closer to that average to keep it that average. So you just know or are comfortable with selling somebody the cheaper thing, getting them booked in on this or that, because whenever they walk in, you go through that process where they choose to upgrade or whatever else, then great. Anyway, I don't know how to say that. It's not, so like my weekly revenue last week was $3,400. That's pretty good for me anyways. Like as a solo worker, being able to, one, be in the shop doing the installations while also maintaining the business or whatever, paying the bills, reaching out to people, sending those proposals to leads, all that stuff, editing, posting on social media, like being able to bring in that kind of money and still have time to do all those other things while I still have my personal things like counting macros, cooking, going to the gym, doing cardio. That stuff for me is like awesome. Being able to do all of that while doing $3,400 in a week and it being sustainable. Like I was not killing myself at all. I had plenty of free time. Not plenty like as in like I could literally fuck off, but plenty as in I was comfortably able to do everything that I was wanting to do, and still had some free time on top of that. So, but that $3,400 isn't obviously all from that cold outreach, obviously, because you know the cold outreach only brought in $1,800, and that wasn't all. They didn't all come in last week. That was like the last 2 weeks. Anyway, the cool thing is it doesn't end there. So you would think, wow, you brought in $1,800, like, and you've been doing this for, let's see, I don't know, I think this is the 3rd week. I mean, that's pretty good in my opinion. It doesn't just stop there. Even that is enough to like warrant to continue to do it. But what's interesting is 53 responded. Now, some booked, some said, stop messaging me, leave me alone. I always think it's interesting. I'll circle back. I always think it's interesting when people, you reached out to me, I reached out to you with a thing you requested, you ghosted me, I am continuing to reach out to you to see if I can offer any additional help, to see if you even received the thing, to see if you had any questions. So it's just like, what do you mean leave you, like, you hit me up. That always like is always like the thing about it. It's like, you hit me up, I'm just doing my job now. And I am not annoying by any means at all. They reach out to me, they get a proposal sent to them. It sends it to them through their messages. A day later, if they didn't approve it, it sends them an email saying if they had a chance to look at it. And then a couple of days after that, that's when I message them. My first message, hey, you reached out, still interested? And that's days after they reached out to us. And then 3 days after that, another one. And then 5 days after that one, another one. So it's like spaced out, like the whole process is probably 2 weeks. And it's only like 4 messages and 1 email. And a lot of times that is people's like time frame. Like they're getting like, some people want it ASAP, they get in that same week, but a lot of people, they got to figure out their schedule the next 2 weeks. So me reaching out, reminding them is most of the time helpful, but you just get these people that are like, leave me alone. It's like, dude, like you're wasting my time. I'm not wasting yours. You're not sending any of these messages. I am. Anyway, so the thing I want to get back to, and the thing that I'm honestly still excited to see how it turns out, is I was able to go through that entire list and basically categorize. I was able to filter that entire list to see how many are absolutely like not interested, closed, like do not reach back out to them. They are completely cold. In fact, they're dead. And then there's some that are like warm, alive, but not ready to book. And then there's the people that were ready and I booked them. So that's the revenue from the people that were ready. Out of those 53 that responded, that 38%, 25 of them want it later. So I added $1,800 in revenue, but there's still 25 people that said to me, I am still interested. I just can't do it right now. Want it later. Can you send me like a fresh quote so I can see them again? So now the reality is I'm not going to book every single one of those 25. But I am fairly confident that of that 25, it's not like when you're on the phone with somebody and they're just completely bullshitting you, like, yeah, I'm interested, just wanted to get it later. It's like there's zero pressure for them to respond to a text. They could just completely ignore it. And when they ask for a price, when they say they're interested over text where there's no pressure to lie, I have a pretty good idea that a decent amount of them are actually interested. So of that 25, I will be, every now and then going back, just every now and then going back to that list. Of course, I have notes on all of them. Like some are like, want it before summer, want it during summer, want it after summer, probably won't want it till the end of the year. It doesn't have that. But the thing is, I will be going through that list of 25 people that I know are actually interested. And over the course of, the next few months reaching out to. So if I booked 5 people and I got $1,800 in revenue, let's just say I book 5 out of this 25. That's is that a fifth? Yeah, it's a fifth. 5, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, it's a fifth. So it's 20%, which I'm hoping more, but let's just say I get another 5 and another 1,800 out of these warm, in my opinion, very warm, because they don't have to respond. It's text. It's like if they're responding, asking for prices, saying, yes, reach out to me later, I'm hoping. And then, if I have like some sort of deals I can throw their way, whatever. If I do the same thing and I only get 5, and, the average ticket, which typically, is the average for a reason, that's pretty close to my average overall, not just from this list, is 360, we'll call it 350. 350 times 5, let's just look real quick. Don't look at your phone when you're driving, of course. So yeah, like if we add that to the revenue now that's $3,550 just by having this process, just by going through this this like filtering and seeing who's actually interested, who's not, and it's just additional revenue that would have. Now, I can't guarantee that it's just completely gone. It's just disintegrated. It just doesn't exist, because some of these at some point might have reached out later and booked themselves. How likely is that? Not very likely at all. It'd be a very small percentage of these. So just generally, I can say with, again, a decent degree of confidence that so far I can foresee doing this process, reaching out to these people, only 10 reach outs a day. If I had more leads, if I had a bigger business, if I had like another installer in the back end that's able to do more work as like I focus on this sort of stuff, this is, again, so easy. And I didn't even go through my whole process. I just told you guys how I had these different scripts. Basically, I had these different scripts. I had like my batch of 10 clients that I would reach out to. I would say, tell AI, show me the script we're going to send today. It would show me, I'd confirm that's the script I want to say. I would send in the 10 names and vehicles, and then it'd put in their name and their vehicle where they need to. And I would literally go to my lead sheet, copy the number into messages, go back to the AI. I would copy the message, the custom message for them, paste, send, change the things in my lead sheet, like this touch one message sent, copy paste a new one, boom, boom, and that was a cycle, boom, 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 and then to the point where I timed it. And I think like the touch ones message I sent myself, because I would kind of customize them a little bit more based off messages that they sent in, just to try and get more of a response out of them out of that first one. Assuming if that one's the most custom, they would actually kind of respond a little bit more if it's kind of tailored towards them. But after that, it was just like more of the act of them getting a message, seeing if they would respond. So that was the whole process. But like, I think I was like at a minute per lead for like the touch one. But like once I did the 2 and 3 where I would just copy and paste it in, I could do like 2 to 3 per minute. So now we're talking like 5 minutes or less, like type. So yeah, I just it went well for me. I'm going to definitely keep doing this process, and I'm going to be improving it. So that's what's going to be cool and good about all this. And let's say this got to the point where I wanted to like grow or whatever. This I could teach anybody. This takes little to no skill at all. It's just about doing it. And I'm just interested to see and want to continue to develop the system so that I continue to maintain it during the summer when it's going to be busy and it's going to be hard to answer phone calls and respond to these text messages and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm happy with it, and I figured it'd be cool to break down all these numbers for you guys, because so many people will be like for example, I watch Alex Hormozy all the time, and he's like, rule of 100, do 100 reach outs every day for 100 days, and you will see in 100 days is just over 3 months, and you will see how it will have changed your life, your business. Doesn't matter how cold, if it's whatever, 100 a day is definitely gonna luckily these were warm. They had reached out to me at some point, but there was only 10 a day. If you 10x what I did, no matter how cold, somebody could have no interest at all in window tinting and never even thought of it, and they go, oh, that does sound cool, I do want that, whatever. So you get the idea. But I even went as far as to break down, okay, with the revenue so far, not if I close any more later on, or if the ones that said they want it later end up booking later, just right now, for reaching out to 137 leads, each lead that I went through this process with was technically worth $13.25 a piece. So basically, if there was a name, with this information that I have, if there was a name or whatever, and I went, I'm not going to message them, technically, I just spent $13.25 gone. Because every single one of these that I did added up to this revenue. So it's just kind of like, obviously, things aren't so cut and dry, but kind of putting a number to things like this makes it be like, okay, your business is struggling, you don't have that many people coming in, can you afford to not send this message? It's $13. It's technically, if you send all these, it's going to add up to $13.25 a piece. So that's $13.25 you lost there, $13.25 you lost there, $13.25 you lost there, $13.25 you lost there. It's like, no, just send it. It's so low effort. You don't have to be in a good mood to do it. I would just put my headphones in, jam out, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. 5, 10, 15 minutes go by, depending how many I'm doing that day. That's it. Like, as little as 5 minutes, and like that's best case, done it in 5 minutes. The absolute worst case, it took 30 minutes. 30 minutes of your day to, add that much revenue. Like, that's totally worth it. But anyway, that's going to wrap up that topic. Now, today is arm day. I have been weighing in at 152, and I'm excited to show you guys what I'm going to be looking like later today. I'm just barely moving, barely getting leaner, but it is moving, and I'm excited to show you guys. So, I'm going to go inside, get some more work done, eat, and I'll probably see you guys after the gym with an arm pump so we can see how I'm looking. But I thought it'd be really neat now that I have these numbers to document how it went, and hopefully not inspire, but like give you guys a reason to try it yourselves if you guys are ever watching this. So that's it. See you guys in the next one. Alrighty, fellas, let's make sure this is focused on me. Alrighty, hopefully this is focused on me. If not, I'm gonna be really sad. But arm pump officially done. Nothing too crazy, nothing too big in this dieting phase, but I feel like we are definitely getting there. I feel like I'm so close to having all 6 clearly defined. Obviously these 4 solid. And I'm just this close to getting these. Just got. But I mean, my skin is super, or not super, but it's getting very thin in all these areas, right? But then if you get here, that's where all of it is. I'm telling you guys, this is what I've been fighting this whole time. Just this little area, this little area. Skin right here, loose. I mean, loose, loose. Look at all this. Very thin. Don't hold much fat in here, but right in the middle is where I hold it. Anyway, let's hit some poses. Okay, next side. Front double Y. Side chest. Alrighty, let's see the back. See, this is what's crazy. Like even in my very like it's super thin here. Very like I think I've even got some veins creeping up here. But I'm holding that little bit here, and then still that little bit right behind here. The side is getting thinner. I'm definitely still holding a little bit here, but you're starting to be able to see where my back ties in with this. From here up into there. but right here, still holding a little bit. But I'm telling you, I feel like I'd have to get pretty lean to get rid of that. All right. I think I'm gonna hit a few more of these. Trying to get this really down. All right, I think we're gonna cut it there. But as you can see, we are most certainly getting there. If I'm gonna be completely honest, if I just ever trained abs and I actually had some developed abs, I'd be seeing more. But I basically have no abs. Like unflexed, pretty lean, they are more or less invisible. Like this is pretty lean, unflexed. Even as I breathe in and out, you can see the sides sucked in here. The sides sucked in there. Pretty lean, but relaxed. No abs. So I definitely need to train abs. And you probably do too. If you're watching this and you're trying to get started or whatever. But anyway, we gotta get the hell out of here. Go get some sleep. Wake up tomorrow. Probably do some extra cardio. Because we are supposed to be finishing this up the end of this week. I could push it pretty hard, cut my calories a little bit, increase cardio. I'd feel like shit, and I probably still wouldn't be there. Realistically, it's stupid to say this because there's no clear goal that I'm trying to reach. I'm just waiting until I look in the mirror and then I'm okay with it. So it kind of just keeps moving, but not really. I really just want more or less to see clearly defined midsection. This is still a good chunk. This very small chunk. So soon this will be completely gone, but to completely get rid of this, I mean, I'm creeping up on 150 right now. I'm waiting at 152 right now. So to get rid of this, I'd probably have to start getting, for sure in the 140s, I don't know how low, potentially 145, and that's just a little unnecessary. I don't have to get 1 month, 2 months out of show, like stage ready to start putting on mass again. I just need to get to a good starting point so that when I start putting on mass again, it's not like, oh, I have a shit ton of fat, and then I'm gonna go and start putting more fat on top. I need to get rid of most of it, hold on to a reasonable amount of fat. Like I think the male body is, I don't know, performs the best, maybe like 9 to like 14%. So I need to be somewhere in there. So as I begin to bulk slowly, I don't put on too much. And then when I go to cut next time, I'm cutting down from like a freaking 18, 20, I mean, I really don't know percentage off the top of my head, but an excessive percentage where most of my cutting is just making up for like a very bad diet as opposed to an appropriate amount of eating to promote, muscle gain. That's what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want to go crazy on my diet to where I'm just like a month or two is literally just because I overdid the eating and had nothing to do with muscle growth. So yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to finish end of this week. If at the end of this week I say screw it, I'm happy, this is where we're starting off with, we're starting from here, then we'll see. If not, I might push it another week or so. I was thinking I watch Sam Sulek all the time, so I was thinking I might just wait till he's done with his second show, just because I consume his content the whole time, and the fact that I was dieting while he was dieting made me feel like my stuff was super easy because he's over here doing hour cardio, sometimes twice a day. He is eating more calories than me, but he's significantly larger than me. But he's also been dieting for significantly longer. But just almost like being surrounded with that, I'm like finding it easier, like when I compare myself to it or whatever. Or like whenever he's doing his workouts, and he's saying like he can't push as hard or it's not a smart idea, and I'm over here feeling bad about my workouts, feeling like, man, these pumps aren't it. I feel like I'm not pushing as hard. I feel like I could have like really gone to failure. I feel like I could have gone heavier. And then I listen, it's like, oh yeah, you probably don't want to do that. I mean, you want to train hard, but you don't want to go crazy. You're going to injure yourself. You're never going to be more vulnerable than whenever your body is depleted. And you can't recover nearly as well. So like a lot of times you can be doing more harm than good if you train too hard in a dieting phase, because your body cannot recover the same way it would whenever it has all the energy it needs to, you know, recover, to build itself back up. So I'm thinking, we'll see. I'll finish this week. If I'm not happy, I'll say screw it one more week. I'll pretty much start gaining weight when he is. So when I feel like I can push harder, I see him going crazy and he's in like a bulking, it's like kind of just reinforcing me to like, you are in a gaining or growing phase. You can push harder, you can eat more, you still should do, I don't know, you guys get what I'm saying. It's just kind of like being aligned and having almost like something holding you accountable, even though like you should probably do it yourself, but it just helps. So we'll see. That's it for today. If I didn't say what date it was in this video already, it is March 17th, 2026. It is currently 10:52 p.m. and I am weighing in about 152-ish right now.